Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. And today I have the setup of week 2 of my scripture writing plan from By the Well for God. And this coordinates with a biblical thanks, which is the November devotional from By the Well for God. This scripture writing list and the prompt, this is a free downloadable. I will link it below from By the Well for God. She has 2. I am using the scripture writing one, and I am doing this in my growth book. So if you missed my setup for week 1, I will list that below too, and it'll be at the end as well. And so this is how I'm going to give you like a flip through of how my cover page and everything looks after 1 week of journaling. So I have all of the scriptures here. You guys saw me set this up. And I have my verse for Hebrews 28 here. James 1:17. I did it in the NLT and ESV. Psalm 57:9, NLT and ESV as well. And so on my second page, which you also saw me set up, I have Psalm 92:1, and it's on this label. So what I did is I did it over here, and I also did a little bit of kind of drawing out some things from the verse there. Then I have Psalm 52 verses 8 and 9. I wrote that out here in the ESV. And then here I have Psalm 101 and 2. And I wrote it out in ESV and NLT. Then for day 7, which is today, it was Psalm 103. So we have verses 1 and 2, and then we have verse 3. But in the devotional, Judy talks to us about the full Psalm 100 and how she says, take the time to meditate and to read through it. So what I did was, instead of just doing Psalm 100 verse 3, I wrote out the full Psalm 100 here in the space. Of course, I had space for that. And so here, days 1 through 7 are done. This is day 7. So in this empty space right here that I have left, tomorrow I will do day 8, which will be 1st of Chronicles 16 verses 8 through 13. That's going to go in this space here, and I have plenty of time space for that. So I'm going to set up 2 more spreads. So I have 3, actually probably 1 spread for week 2. And I'm going to do 3 on this side and 3 on this side. And since I have space for day 8 here, that will give me all 7 days. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward, and let's dig in. Okay, darling, so I'm starting off with this spread. I really love how it turned out, so I'm going to walk you through it. So first and foremost, like I said, I'm going to be doing day 8 over on under the day 7, and here I'm just going through some of the verse cards. I had already selected or set apart the ones that I knew were verses that were on the scripture writing prompt list, right? And so I'm just going through those to see which ones apply for the next 7 days. Would be 8 through 8 through 14, sorry. And so I was double checking those. I also looked in my clear stickers because they have some postage stamp stickers in the clear sticker set that also has Bible verses, and I did find one in Daniel, so I cut that one out. And so I was just double checking that I didn't have anything else that has the verses that I could possibly use, because of course I wanted to use those things up first. And when I saw that I had collected all I needed, then I moved on. Okay, so here I thought about maybe using the art from one of these journaling cards, the Autumn Chapels, because the postage that I did pull out does have a chapel. But then I was looking at some of the other art, and it was just so cute that I decided to go with that instead. I love this farmer's market that I used over in the bottom right, and that basket of apples. Then I also love just the basket of apples with the Bible and that little bench that looks like you're sitting out on your front porch, and the plaid pumpkin. All of those things I really loved, and they all kind of coordinated, so I decided to use those. I am using an old, this is an old stencil from By the Well for God. It's houndstooth pattern. I think I said that wrong in another video, and I'm sure you guys were shouting at me and telling me the correct pronunciation, because you guys know I often mispronounce things. But this houndstooth stencil, as you guys see, it's well loved. I really enjoyed using it during the time that it was released, and so I still have it. So pull out things in your stash. What stencils or stamps do you have that you can incorporate into your journal and decorate your pages? I feel like sometimes we focus on having all the things or buying all the new things, but we do have things in our stash that we can use. So here I'm using Distress Oxide's Pumice Stone, and I loved it because it kind of mixed with the color that was already on my stencil to create a really pretty grayish, burgundy-ish type pattern or color for the pattern, which I didn't plan beforehand. It was serendipity because the maroon color was already on my stencil, and I went ahead and left it like that. So here I'm knocking back some of the white on my die cut. You'll see me do that, and I'm using the Tombow liquid adhesive. It's the blue one. I love both the blue, and I use the green one a lot in my scrapbooking or memory keeping because it's acid free and it's photo safe. And so I'm knocking back some of those colors and layering those things. You'll see me grab like a candle that I have on my desk, an acrylic block, and I lay those things over these die cuts just to make sure that they are flat so they adhere to the page better. It takes a couple of seconds for it to dry, and once it's dry it won't move, but it does take a little minute to dry, which I appreciate because sometimes I have to shift things a little bit on my page. And so here I am adding that beautiful bench. I wish I had this bench in real life on my porch. Super pretty, and I'm adding this pumpkin that I'm going to layer on there as well. On the top, I use the basket with the plaid fabric, and it has apples and also that beautiful autumn colored Holy Bible. I add that towards the top there. And then I'm kind of thinking, okay, so what verses are going to be here? How can I incorporate these cards? How can I incorporate, the little postage stamps? I'm thinking of all of these things. Of course, like you guys saw my last couple of spreads from the last 7 days of scripture writing, things do change. Like I do continue to add things and add stickers, and you guys saw me add alphas and how it turned out at the end. But like I've said before, I like to set up as much as possible, so when I come into my scripture journal, it's more about the heart part than it is about the art part. I love the setup. Of course, it's beautiful. I love pretty things, and it makes me very happy to see a pretty layout when I come to write out my scripture. But day by day, I want to really do the hard part and meditate on scripture. So you saw me add a couple of labels. I'm going to layer that postage stamp, and then I'll clip some of those cards to the top. And that is it. That wraps up this week's spread, and I hope to share more with you next week. I'm going to give you a last look at that. And if you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing. Hit the like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And thank you so much for joining me each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.